Beautiful things influence our life to a large extent. To such an extent that it is because of the presence of beautiful things that we love life. We want to live life. There are evil things, there are sad things, there are negative things, but the beautiful things, they are more powerful. They contribute towards our life in a much stronger way. And when they appear, when they influence, the influence of evil and criminal things subside. So let us see, in the first video we found certain things like a list of evil things, and then the poet said that in spite of these evil practices in human life, it is the beautiful things that are more powerful, it is the beautiful things that influence our life and that enable us to live life. Now we will find the poet will give us a list of beautiful things. This is the main theme, because the poem itself is named A Thing of Beauty, and since A Thing of Beauty is the name of the poem, and the poet is basically dealing with beautiful things and their influence on human life, that is the main point that has now come. List of beautiful things. What are those? There are many, many beautiful things in life, but the Keats has made mention of some of them. First one, he says sun, and then with sun, moon. Sun brings brightness. Had the sun not been there, there would have been complete darkness. And when the sun disappears, then there is night. You find moon comes. Moon gives a different kind of life, and even on certain nights you don't find moon again. And on different nights, the light from moon is not of the same intensity, but there is beauty in all these changes also. So moon and sun, they make our life happy. And then there are trees. And when the poet is using the word trees, then he adds something, says, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep. All these things we have to take together. Trees old and young, from this up to the last word, sheep. This is one point. This is one example of a beautiful thing. Sun, moon, they are beautiful things. Trees, it may be old trees, it may be young trees. Yes, old and young both are, whether it is in case of human beings or in case of anything, old is gold, there is a saying. If there is an old building at your home where your grandfather used to live, that building carries the memory of 100 years old memory. That has some kind of beauty. But a newly built building with all the sophistication and all the gadgets, everything available, that also is beautiful in a different sense. So old has its beauty, new things also have its beauty. Now the poet is saying that old trees and young trees, they both provide beauty in different ways. Yes, old tree, it is the shelter for birds, it is strong, its trunk is strong, and it is large, it gives shelter to many living organisms for relaxation. New trees, there is newness, there is freshness, and they look more beautiful. So whether it is old or new, trees are there. And what about the trees? The poet is elaborating this point by saying, sprouting a shady boon. Sprouting, sprout means creating. Sprout means to create. So old and new trees, what do? They sprout, they create a shady boon. Boon means blessing. Yes, trees give blessing in the form of their shade. They create shade, and human beings or other animals go and take shelter, they relax there. That is a blessing to other living beings from trees. So trees, they create a shady boon for simple sheep. Sheep, this animal is known for its timidity, for its simplicity, for its humbleness. So humble human beings or humble living beings, they are given shelter. They can take relaxation. They can get relaxation. They can get refuge. So this is provided to them by the trees, old and young trees. And the next beautiful thing is daffodils. This is a name you are very familiar with. Daffodils. Such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills. That is the next point. That will be number 4. Clear rills. Rills. What is this rills? Rills are streams where water fall down from upper area to the lower ground. That is clear rills. Clear rills, the point starts with clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. This is one point. Clear rills, and this point continues and continues, and the last word in this point is season. This is one example of beautiful thing. What is it? Clear rills, it means the stream that through which clear water flows. If you have seen any fountain or any stream, water is very, very crystal clear. So the poet said that clear rills are beautiful things, and what do? They create a cooling covert. Covert, C-O-V-E-R-T, covert. Covert means cover. Covert. Covert means something that envelops. Clear rills, it means streams through which clear water flows. Those streams, they create a covert, a cover for themselves against the hot season. When there is hot season, there is a high temperature. So to get some relief from such heat, some extreme heat, to get relief from such extreme heat, as if the stream, they themselves make a shelter for them, that we will remain in a cool situation. There is extreme heat all around, but we will remain in a cool situation. So they make a shelter for themselves. See, in certain words, that is, the poet has written it like this. This actually is against. A, the first letter is missing here. It is not written. Apostrophe is given. The same is the case in one of the earlier lines we have got over the pen. V is here V is missing, apostrophe is given. Here A is missing, but you have to pronounce it as against. Against means against. These are poetic uses. So to save themselves from extreme heat, the clear streams, they make a shelter for them. This is what the poet is saying. The MidForest Break, this is another example of beautiful thing. Number 5 it will be MidForest Break. MidForest Break. What is this thing? MidForest means something that is in the middle of the forest, and break is a thick mass of ferns. There are some plants, some short plants, and they are very thick. And in the forest you will find they are there. They are in abundance. Here and there you will find certain thick masses of ferns. They are called break, and they are in the middle of the forest. And the poet is making a description of them. The MidForest Break, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk-rose blooms. The last word is blooms. After blooms, you have to understand to be one point. MidForest Break. The MidForest Break, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk-rose blooms. This is one point. What is this? That in the forest, in the middle of the forest, there are some ferns, thick ferns, and they are rich. With what are they rich? They are rich with a sprinkling of fair musk-rose blooms. Musk-rose is a flower. Musk-rose. And the word sprinkling when you throw water, for example, you have taken some water in your hand and you throw the droplets like this. You are sprinkling water. Here the word sprinkling is used. What is sprinkling? It is used not for water. The musk-rose blooms here and there in the forest, as if you sprinkle water, some droplets will fall here and there and here and there, as if someone has sprinkled those musk roses. And musk rose flowers, they are blooming here and there in the forest, and they create thick masses of ferns. They are beautiful. They add beauty to nature. They add beauty to forest. They are also beautiful things. And the next example of beautiful thing, number 6, is very important. And and after that we'll have another example. This example is Granger of the Dooms. Granger of the Dooms. We have imagined for the mighty dead. Granger of the Dooms, it continues, and then the last word is dead. This is one point. This is one beautiful thing. Granger of the Dooms, we have imagined for the mighty dead. This is one example of beautiful thing. We are now discussing the list of beautiful things that the poet Keats has made mention of in the poem. And we have got, this is the sixth example. What is it? Granger of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. What is it? Granger, the word Granger has come from the word grand. Grand is an adjective and Granger is a noun. Granger means being grand. Granger means greatness, majesty. It means that glamour, being being of very high quality, of very top quality. Granger of the dooms. What is this dooms? Dooms, it is doomsday, the day of judgment. This pertains to Christian and Islamic faith, that the followers of these religions, they believe that after the destruction of everything, there will be a day of judgment when God will judge human beings on the basis of their activities, and they have to they will be rewarded or punished accordingly. So on the day of judgment, that is what is referred. The grandeur of the dooms means on the doomsday, on the day of judgment, some people will enjoy grandeur, some people will enjoy majesty, facilities, and they will get a lot of applause. So on the day of judgment, there will be some souls, some human souls who will enjoy grandeur, enjoy majesty. Who are those people? The poet said, grandeur of the dooms you have imagined for the mighty dead. This is a very important question. Who are the mighty dead? Mighty dead are the dead people. Mighty dead are the dead people, people who have died, who are no longer living on the earth. But when they were living, during that time, they worked so much for human progress that even after death, they are regarded with high regard, they are respected. People still remember them. For example, great scientists or other people who work for the people of the world, who work for human civilization. So they are the mighty dead. They have died, they are no more living, but they are mighty. Mighty in terms of their contribution for human welfare. So the poet said that those people who were really great during their lifetime because of their work for humanity, on the day of judgment they will enjoy grandeur, they will enjoy majesty from Lord. And we imagine this, yes. Now take an example, for example, your own grandfather or anyone from your ancestors who was a great person, who worked for human beings, who worked for the poor people. And even after 50 or 70 years of his death, still people remember him. And now when you think about this ancestor of yours, that elderly man, that dead person, when you think about him, that yes, my grandfather, everyone says that he was a great man, and on the day of judgment, God will definitely reward him very highly. He will get ample rewards from God because he worked for mankind. When you think about your grandfather in terms of all these things, when you think about your grandfather being rewarded on the day of judgment because of his great contribution during his lifetime, then what happens? You have a feeling of happiness. And poet Keats says that this feeling of happiness is a thing of beauty. There is beauty in such thoughts. This is what I told you earlier, that in case of John Keats, he discovers beauty in certain things in which we had never thought that there is beauty. Keats says that certain thoughts are beautiful, certain ideas are beautiful. This is one example, that the very thought, when you think about your grandfather, about your ancestor, that on the day of judgment God will reward him very much because of his activities on earth, this very thought brings smile in your face, and at least mentally you become happy. And Keats says that this very thought is an example of a beautiful thing. You have to remember this point very nicely, because questions often come about who are the mighty dead, etc. So then, the last example of beautiful thing that the poet gives is, that is the seventh point, it will be number 7 it will be, what is it? All lovely tales that we have heard or read. Tale means story. Yes, if you watch a movie or watch a video, there is a nice story, you love it, there is beauty in it. The poet said that tales or stories also have beauty. The stories that we have heard from others, or the stories that we have read in books, all those stories, they also are beautiful. So the poet has given certain examples of beautiful things, And there are many, many innumerable beautiful things in life, but some of them the poet has mentioned, and before that he has made mention of evil things also. And the poet said that the power of beautiful things are stronger, and it is because beautiful things are there that we human beings love life, and beautiful things are so powerful that they defeat the influence of evil things on our life. And then in the last two lines, the conclusion is drawn in such a nice way that the poet considers all the beautiful things, whether they are sun, moon, or the daffodils, or the stream, or the beautiful thoughts or beautiful stories, whatever beautiful things the poet has mentioned here, he considers all of them together, that these beautiful things, they are an endless fountain of immortal drink. If you are given a glass of some drink, for example some juice, and it is a very hot day, and when you reach your home, your mother offers you a glass of mango juice, you drink it, oh, fine, nice, you feel relaxed, happy. But how long will it continue giving you happiness, giving you joy? For a few minutes. If tomorrow again you go somewhere and then you come home back, will yesterday's glass of juice still serve you? You will need another glass today, because that glass of juice that your mother gave, that its influence was short-lived. That is what that is the reality. But so far as these beautiful things are concerned, Keats says that they are an immortal drink. Once you drink them, you will never feel thirsty. They are immortal, their power is immortal. What are those things? Keats said all the beautiful things. He imagines as if all the beautiful things that we enjoy in life, the trees, flowers, fruits, animals, birds, the natural phenomenon, the wind or breeze or river or sea or human, small children smiling or laughing. Keats says that that all these beautiful things, as if they are a fountain of immortal drink, they are a stream, they are a non-stop flowing of beautiful things, as non-stop flowing of drink, pouring unto us from the heaven spring. They are heavenly, beautiful things, they are. And all the examples that the poet has given, they are not man-made, they are all God-made. And the poet said that all the beautiful things that make our life so happy, the poet said that their origin is in heaven. They are created by God Himself for His own human beings. So their origin is in heaven, and all the beautiful things taken together, the poet imagines that as if they are a fountain. Their beginning is in the heaven, and their destination is human life. From heaven they start coming, their journey starts, and they reach us, and it is a continuous journey. They never stop coming. Beautiful things from heaven, they start their journey and they continue coming to us, and this is a continuous process. It never ends. It is God's gift. It is human. It is a heavenly gift. So if we can appreciate beauty, if you can admire beauty, and we from this point, since we have got that yes, there are some thoughts also which are beautiful, and if we really try to avoid negative thoughts from our mind, and if we think that yes, even if there is sadness in mind, even if sometimes something make me unhappy or miserable, it is ultimately life is to be lived. Life is something bright, and beautiful things will definitely come, and they will make us live life happily. This is the message that Keats gives. So far, you all are familiar with beautiful things. We all know what we admire beautiful things. But here, after reading this poem, I am sure that there is some change in your mind about the definition and the concept of beautiful things. And the best way is to live life and to appreciate beauty, and to realize that yes, beautiful things are powerful, and to be close to beautiful things. It means to, as the poet said, to try to create a closeness between human beings and nature. If we can do that, I think it will be the best way to appreciate Keats' idea of beauty. And with this kind of hope, let us stop here. Thank you very much.